Hello, and welcome back to my face and another video. Let's get right into it, really. It's back to the How to Play series, and this time I'm going to show you how to play the Leopard 1. You know, tier 10, German, medium, tank. Probably it is one of the best snipers in the game. I've got it in a very nice matchup, tier 8s, Prokhorovka, long range map, able to, use this tank's, incredible 0.27 dispersion and, nutty 1.56 seconds aim time. And you could already see it there with a little shot into the M4Y, or M6Y, or whatever that tank is. But yeah, I'm going to show you how to play this tank. I'm going to try and describe you the equipment that I recommend you to use, the field mods I recommend you to use, the play style, and then just generally show you how I feel it plays. To discuss this tank's line, to get up to this tank, it's a bit of a grind up until the tier 9. The tier 9 is very good once you have the top gun on it. The bottom gun, the 230 Alpha gun, I think it is off the top of my head, is pretty bad. But once you've got that tank fully upgraded, it's basically just a mini Leo at tier 9. So, yeah, it's very good. And I must say, this tank is not for everyone. It will not fit everyone's playstyle. I know some very, very, very good players who just can't get on with the Leo. It requires a mix of passive and aggressive playstyles. You have to know when to play this tank aggressively and trade, and you have to know when to fall back and use his guns, DPM, accuracy, and farm from long range. And you can see, I've done that. I've gone to the mid for an early shot on the tank's cross, and I looked and said, look, there's no lights. I'm not going to get any early vision on the stuff which has gone to like H1. So I'm going to go to the mid, I'm going to try and spot for myself, and I'm going to try and pick up an early shot into anything that's crossing poorly. Managed to do that. Then realised, well, nothing's going to get spotted, so why stay in the mid? Just rotate to 1-2, and as you see, it's working well with a T54E1 over peaking, a Chief over peaking, the M6Y over peaking, and yeah, managed to pick up the M6Y, and we're just going to be able to sit here and farm. And that's what this tank can do. It has the DPM, it has the accuracy, it has the pen to be able to just sit there and farm pretty confidently without really having to worry too much. As you can see here, I'm kind of holding off on my shots. I was hoping it was just him pushing down and I was going to take the assistance. Because I was marking this tank. It's marked now, which is why I'm doing the video on it. Yeah, I marked it in the end with like 3.7k DPG, which is pretty good because it was a recovery from about 3.2 after 50 games. So I marked it from 70% to 100 to 95% in like just shy of 50 games. You can see here we're basically picking up the Lerva and the 907 that have pushed down the 1-2, but we bled heavily for that. And it kind of shows you don't really want to rely. You don't rely on this tank's armor. It will bounce some funky shots in the turret because it has some funky, a funky armor model basically. And it's APCR, so sometimes it will troll you into tracks and shit like that, and do stuff like that. But that's just bad RNG. But yeah, I wanted to show you this replay and do the how to play series with this replay because it shows you what this tank can do. Not just it can sit there and farm, but also its ability to be able to spot for itself and, its camo. And it basically just shows you everything it has going for it, in my opinion. Let's get into some of the stats. Like you've seen here, we've managed to rip apart the Chief. We farmed the 907. The 907's got pretty funky armor. And, I'm firing gold. This tank has 323 APCR gold. That's good. There's not that many tanks which have gold as APCR at tier 10 that match that for pen. It's very nice. And the golden thing about this tank is its shell velocity. It has dreamy shell velocity. Standard, it's got 1480 meters a second, and its gold, it's 1613 meters a second. That's only really being rivaled by the K91 standard APCR. You can see here, we're kind of just letting the Barask spot, and we're just going to farm. And that's what this tank can do. You've got 3.4k DPM, 0.27 dispersion. You can get into position quickly because it goes 70 forwards. You can sit on a ridgeline. It has 9 degrees of gun depression, and you can spot for yourself. You've got 427 meters view range, which is lovely for a medium tank. You can see this game's close. Now, we have a Leo and a T-54 pushing through the south. That's an unspotted scent, and they've got 3. And the Conway's here on the hive. I'm going to pick him up. And, 420 Alpha is nice, I'm pretty sure it's 420 Alpha. I should double check this or something. Yeah, sorry, it is 420 Alpha. It's nice. You get big farm. And especially with this tank's DPM, you really can rip tanks apart. And I feel like this replay basically shows you everything you need to do in the Leo is you need to know when to play aggressively, you need to know when to play passively, and you need to know when's the time to, push the tempo. And if you can figure that out in the Leo, you can really, really have good games. A good player who is min-maxed in the tank. Like, I had this tank min-maxed. I was using Bond Hardening, Bond V-Stabs, Bond Rammer. I had all the field mods. I was using food. As you can see, I'm firing basically full gold. A good player can, in my opinion, do 4k plus DPG on this tank, yeah, definitely do 4k plus. Maybe a really good player can push it to 4.5. But, yeah, no, I marked it in the end with recents around 4k. You can see I'm aiming for tracks here because I'm trying to min-max this game. It's already an over 10k combined game, but, you go for the tracking because it allows you to min-max. But yeah, I feel like this replay showed you everything there is to ever know about the Leo. It shows you its ability to be able to trade, because we traded with the 90, the 140 and the Leopard. Its ability to spot, its ability to stay unspotted at relatively close distances to the 907 and the 140 and the Leopard. It shows you its ability to farm shit that's over peaking, like the Chieftain, the T-51 and the M6Y. Shows you its ability to stay unspotted whilst firing, whilst farming the CCs and the Centurion and the Conway. Yeah, I felt like this was a pretty all-around comprehensive replay showing you what the Leo can do. And look, as I said at the start, this tank is not going to be for everyone. It's going to be for a player who feels competent in knowing where to rotate. But I'd recommend this tank to a lot of people. It really is a good tank to learn timings. I know a lot of newer players struggle with timings, when to push, when to be not push. This tank is a pretty good tank to learn that in. It's pretty forgiving because of its speed. It does allow you to get out of a situation if you stayed a little bit too long. But as I said, don't rely on its armor. But yeah, if you're looking for a new tank to go up, I'd recommend the Leo. Really good fun tank. I fell in love with it in the end after a bit of a rocky start with it. I slightly changed up my equipment and I started to run hardening instead of vents, and I found I was able to trade a little bit more efficiently. And yeah, overall, I recommend it. I'm going to show you the field mods I recommend on it now and the equipment, 2 equipment setups. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed. If you did, like, subscribe, and yeah, I shall see you all soon. Bye.